Welcome to the Frank Report. I'm your host, Francis Steffan. I have a co-host, Melissa Roxanne, who hosts her own show, New World Order Info, on Mondays at 6 p.m.
It's about an elderly couple that basically were kidnapped, and through no fault of their own, really. I mean, they've been put into a nursing home, which, you know, you might not think is that bad. Well, they're basically draining them of all their assets, stating that, you know, they're incapacitated, they're not able to make decisions, etc. So that this is just the New World Order, you know, taking everything they have, forcing them out of their home into a nursing home against their will, and, you know, not treating them right at all, and then they'll probably end up dead, which is what usually happens once they are able to get all their assets.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, reading some of the bills, some of the stuff that they're passing, you know, when you deputize nurses and healthcare workers, what you're doing is making them government agents. So people really have to start getting it in their head. When you walk into a hospital, these people are your enemy. You have just walked in to a situation where you're surrounded by people who want to basically lock you up, lock you down, and steal all your assets from you and eventually kill you.
The woman in this case, their name is Jean and Michael Kidd, and her best friend, you know, can't believe it. And so anyway, this is from Tuesday, August 25th. So this is an older article, but I will, if you want me to, go ahead and read it, and then kind of give an update of a little bit of what I've found out since. So this says Dallas, and it says elderly couple forced into state custody. They're not criminals, they've broken no laws, but they're being held against their will by the state of Texas. Why? It's a tragic story about what can happen when you are alone in the world and lose control of your rights, your money, and your ability to complain. And just imagine if you were in this situation, or your parents, etc. Jean and Michael Kidd never imagined their retirement would play out like this. I feel like I am not in America, said Michael Kidd, and that's Kidd. I can't believe I have been hijacked off the street, virtually from the hospital, and imprisoned, Kidd told Fox 4. Michael Kidd and his wife, Jean, have been living out of a tiny room for months. They have lost control of their money, their home, even their car. They say they've been robbed of their dignity and their voice. And who do they say is responsible? The state of Texas. It is a shock to our system, says Kidd. We are still kind of in a state of shock, Kidd told reporter Becky Oliver. Michael Kidd worked as an engineer at KDFW, and I have not looked that up yet, but I will, for 23 years. He retired in 2001 with a pension, retirement account, and Social Security. Last month, he called the station for help. One second here, because something just went wrong. Okay, here we go. New window open out of the blue, and now I'm waiting. Okay, here we go, finally. So, he called for help. He called KDFW, which apparently is some kind of either radio or TV station or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked as an engineer for them for 23 years. He retired in 2001 with a pension, retirement, and Social Security. Last month, he called them for help. The kids have no children or relatives nearby. In November, Michael fell and broke his hip. He was taken to a Plano, Texas hospital and into surgery. After a few days, the hospital called, listen to this, the State Adult Protective Services to report Jean, his wife, had been in the waiting room for days and wasn't eating. What happened next is a complicated legal tale told in hundreds of pages of documents filed with the Collin County Probate Court. See there? Probate Court.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened in the Terry Schindler, if you want to call her Shivo case. That was her husband's name that basically ended up killing her.
And that was the whole thing, set a precedent.
Yeah, and he was a probate judge. And they did drain her of all the money that she got awarded. And, they got all their money and they killed her.
Look, I'm going to skip to the chase here and let people in on a little not secret. The government considers us all property. Okay, and if you don't think so, ask yourself, why are you and your well-being and what's going to happen with you, forget your property, they got these people locked up. They have condemned them as incompetent. Why is that a probate court? Probate's about property. Guess what? You're considered property. I mean, get over it. People out there want to argue with me over this. There is no argument. And when somebody considers you property, what choices do you have left at that point in time? You're going to go to court? You're going to argue? You're going to argue with the guy who's sitting there claiming jurisdiction over you as property? You're going to have an argument with a guy who considers you property? I don't think so. Folks, we better start getting a grip here and start telling these representatives that, listen, if it keeps going this way, you have given us no option but to take extreme and permanent measures against these people who are treating us as though we are their property. I mean, I'm.
Why do they have human resources departments all over the place, you know, in all the corporations that people work at?
Yep.
Because they see us as property. They see us as cattle, chattel, whatever you want to call it. And we're just there to be abused and taken advantage of and drained of our assets and killed and sickened and poisoned and whatever.
Well, and that's the thing, is that they have been, I think it's the perfect descriptive term used for their attitude towards people is human resource. Now, I'm not going to get into the thing of it, but human is not really a good term for men and women. Okay, it is a if you will, humanizing, because human actually, and this is a kind of a convoluted way to get there, but it is a fact that human was known as the definition monster. That's one definition of it. Okay, and the thing is, it goes back to the roots of not, I don't want to say crossbreeding, but basically crossbreeding between races and things of that nature. Human came up, and anyway. But resources are to be used and discarded when they're done. Okay, resources are to be used for their energy and then discarded when they're drained. That's a resource. That's oil. You put oil and, you make gasoline, you put it in your tank, you burn it up till it's gone. And then you get some more resource. This is exactly how they have us pegged, to use up and then discard. And if you look at what's gone on in this one case, and it happens more than, people would like to know, but what they've done is they have taken these people, they've gone through the human resource thing, they have decided that they're now incompetent, they will drain all their wealth and make them wards of the state until they die.
You're listening to AVR, the American Voice Radio Network. We're on free-to-air KU band satellite at Galaxy 19 at 97 degrees west, frequency 11836 vertical with symbol rate 20.770, PID left audio channel. Visit our website at theamericanvoice.com.